Hi again. So, on the heels of that fun and exciting video, I'd like to talk about something else that's pretty special and close to my heart and incredibly depressing. Um, I have minorly, minorly dabbled in a bit of film work and a little bit of theater. I minored in theater at university. I was hanging out one day, met a production assistant. I've lived in Los Angeles and Miami Beach, and she said, "Hey, we need some extras. You want to come to the set one day? You want to be an extra?" Yep. Anyway, long story short, I can assure you that everything that's being said right now, as far as sexual harassment in the film industry, exists. My personal experience just from one time that I got involved in the shooting of a film on set. I didn't know that that kind of sexual harassment could be tolerated. Had it been any other industry, any other job, any other anything, I'm not going to say a name, but essentially, it was a club scene. My job was to dance. My job was to dance on a stool, and the star of the production decided to get up within inches of my posterior and make commentary. So, and he was doing it to impress his entourage, who had formed a circle around me, and it looked like they couldn't decide which hole to stick it in first, to be frank and honest. Director came over, kind of intervened a little bit, but no admonishment, no, that's, come on, this isn't how we treat, no, are you okay, these people don't care. These are hundreds of millions of dollars worth of production. All they give a crap about is, good press and coverage, and that everything goes off smoothly, and making it as quickly and cheaply and effectively and pennies per pound profit wise, conscientious as possible. That's it. And that experience, it was my day off. A production assistant was like, "Hey, you want to come be an extra? We'll pay you a couple $100 to stand around and eat catering all day." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And that one time was enough for me. I can't imagine trying to dig your way through the garbage and the filth and the pure shit that it must be to actually try and claw your way to the top of an industry like Hollywood. And I lived in LA, and just from knowing people tangentially involved in the industry, I knew of stories of women being treated like literal garbage. Like they were jokes, because loads of beautiful women go out there to try and make their careers. So they're just everywhere. It's just beautiful. On a scale of 1 to 10, 12s everywhere. Who, anytime anything happens with Hollywood, like a movie premiere or an after party or anything, they try to be associated because they're trying to make connections, because they're trying to make their career happen as rationally you would in any industry. Unfortunately, as we're discovering with, is it Harvey Weinstein, whatever its name is, and Bill Cosby, there's one very quick way to make sure that you get your career in a place that is successful. The casting couch is a running joke in Hollywood. It is a running joke. I knew people. My boss has been involved. A guy I worked for was involved in some pretty big productions. He kind of made it into the industry, made his name as an actor. I mean, you can't toss a dead cat out there without hitting somebody who's involved or trying to get involved. And it's just when you really start meeting some of the people involved, it's just I'm sure there are lovely people. I met a couple of people that were actually pretty cool and down to earth and nice. And I met a couple of people who were really cool and down to earth and nice to me. And then, heard later from someone who knew for a fact that they weren't very nice and very cool once the doors were closed. And so, all I have to say is that women in that industry, I mean, all industries where any woman's trying to climb to the top, but specifically that one, it is a cesspool. And women have to, I'm not going to say we, because I'm not involved in Hollywood, and I have no intention of ever trying to be involved in Hollywood. But women involved in that industry have to start coming out and sharing these stories with each other, and coming out hard. And as it happens, just name and shame. And for someone like Quentin Tarantino to just come out and be like, yeah, it's just part of the wallpaper. I mean, it's just what we do. It's just, I knew about it and I didn't say anything because, but then to make a movie like Django Unchained that's all about, the injustice of treating someone badly based on nothing more than a condition of their birth, which is exactly what your gender is, just like your race. I mean, some people just have no shame. Oh, it's fine, yeah, you're going to make her go in there and blow you if she wants to get a speaking part. Whatever, call me later with the details. And that's, I mean, those stories like that are just, they're everywhere. They're everywhere and they're anywhere. And, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine it. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have the stomach. Because I've been the victim of revenge porn, and I know for a fact that, somewhere in the world someone has done that to me. I can't imagine willfully participating in that and then having it held over my head, like a lot of these women do. A lot of them will be filmed. A lot of this will be filmed so that later, should they consider getting out of line or try to stand up for themselves in some way that's not appreciated, we've got this videotape over here. Don't you forget about it. I've heard of that happening on several occasions. So, and it's bad enough that it sometimes happens to the guys. And I mean, for the women who've made these tapes and then released them themselves or leaked them themselves or whatever, what you do with your sexuality is your business, sister, and that's your thing. But for those of us who aren't into all that and who would like to see these men strung and quartered in the city square, it's not acceptable. So all I want to say is, please, as many women in Hollywood as can come forward, Rose McGowan, light the fire, because that place, LA's, the Hollywood industry, you can smell the stench without even being in it. It's so bad. So, respect all my girls out there who have come out, and all the women who are, the ones who aren't making it because they're saying no, the ones who don't get the parts, the ones who end up the failed story but had every bit of talent and as much charisma and looks as anybody else. So respect and, stay strong and fight hard, because that's what it's going to take.